Right, morning guys. It's just coming up to about 6:45, Friday the 24th of May. As you can see, I'm back on Club Lake 1 for another day session. Got the area all set up, so I'm all good to go. I'm going to see if we can't get a few of these post-spawn carp out. We've had a couple of weeks where I haven't gone fishing because the carp went into spawning, but I've got the next week off. I'm going to try and get a few sessions in now that that's all out the way, and hopefully get a few fish on the bank. My right hand rod, I'm fishing with a PVA bag out towards this spot here, just off the tip of the island by about 25 yards or so, out towards the swim on the far bank. Left hand rod, I'm out towards this row of bushes there, and again probably about 10-12 wraps out. I haven't marked it out, but yeah, well, you're looking at about 45 yards, something like that. So we're all set up and fishing. Let's hope for some action. Right, having cast out on my spots, first thing that happens, big common carp just swam directly under my rod tips, literally in, what are we, a foot, maybe 18 inches of water. It might be a little bit deeper, but not a lot more than that. Might be a couple of feet, but literally just down here under the rod tips. Nice common, swimming along the bank, which they do tend to do on here. You watch them sort of swim round and along. I've fished on the margins previously and not had much success, but I'm sure I would if I left it there for long enough. But yeah, first carp of the day, just taking the piss, having a little bit of a swim under the rod tips. Nice to see, but I can get back out on my spots if they don't mind, please. Right, it's just gone 10 o'clock. So I've had a move of this right hand rod. I've not had any interest on the lake so far. Seen a couple of fish crashing out, but nothing on the either of the rods. So I've just brought the right hand rod in because I've seen quite a lot of fizzing around the island area. So I've put some boilies out there about 20 minutes ago just to put some bait in the area, and I've just put the right hand rod over towards the right hand side, just about here, about 3 or 4 yards off the island. So I'm not tight to the island. It does go quite shallow, tight into the island, so I've just brought it off slightly with a fresh PVA bag, and see if we can't tempt them. I've already had a bit of a tug on the right hand rod. I'm fishing quite a small bait, so there is a chance that bream may well show more of an interest, especially as I'm fishing with a bag, so there's quite a lot of powders and small pellet in there. But I'm just going to change things up a little bit and say the left hand rod's out in the middle, so it makes sense to try the right hand rod in a bit of a different area. So we've gone a bit closer to, or gone close to the island. See if we can't get some interest there. Alright, it's just gone 20 past 10. That right hand rod that I'd cast out just had a little bit of interest, a couple of beeps up, and then sort of slowly went into drop back, struck into it, and there was nothing there, or wheeled up to it and there was nothing there, but at least something is definitely over there and showing an interest. It wasn't the goose I was watching at the time, but yeah, I was sort of just over a few yards up the bank just watching. In fact, I can see a carp swimming around in the area now. It's obviously difficult to tell on the phone, but with the Polaroids on I can just make out a black shape swimming around over there. So there's definitely carp in the area, and as I say, just had a bit of interest, so that move was definitely the right thing to do. We'll just have to see if we can get one to trip up. But yeah, good to see that little move has already got us a little bit of interest on that right hand rod. That's twice he's done me. Right, it's just coming up to 11:30. Starting to see a lot more activity with fish crashing out. Temperatures certainly come up a bit. It was probably about 11 or 12 degrees when I got here, but that was at 6 o'clock this morning. We're definitely now up into the high teens, I would think. And I say we've got carp have crashed out a couple of times over my left hand spot, and just in general around the lake I'm starting to see more fish showing. Still not too much going on with the rods, but at least we're starting to see fish in and around the area. I say 2 right over my left hand rod in the last 10 minutes or so. So we'll keep at it, leave the rods where they are for a bit, and if we haven't had anything in the next hour and a half, I'll have a recast just to freshen things up again. But we'll see how it goes. As I say, they're still fairly cloudy, but the sun is trying to break through at times, but that is because of that cloud cover. It's certainly starting to warm up a lot faster. Clouds obviously holding some of the mugginess in, so I suspect over the course of the day it's going to get warmer still. Right, we've been playing silly buggers with the spot over on the right. I've had the rod cast back out 3 times in the space of about 10 minutes because I keep getting little drop back runs and tugs and pulls, and neither of my other rods, or the 2 rods that I'm using on that right hand spot, are out because I've not been able to get a bag on either of them. And just as I was setting up the first one to get it back out there, I left hand rod's gone off. And this at least does feel like a carp, so I don't know what the other ones have been. They've been lots of little tugs. I'm assuming it's something like a bream, but this one I'm pretty confident, yes it is. It's a nice common carp. Hopefully we can get this one in. It's just coming up to 5 to 1. So we've had a bit more interest in the over the last hour or so, but nothing definite until this one. Yeah, it's only a little common, but he's a fish. He's putting up more fight, as commons always do, under the rod tip than he did when he actually first picked the rig up. He's certainly not giving up. You can tell the weather's warmed up a bit. All of a sudden they're supercharged. He only looked about 6 or 7 pounds. Maybe I've been deceived by the slight coloration in the water. Maybe he's bigger than I think, but he's off on a merry charge along the bank at the moment. And I'm just having to back wind, keep giving him a little bit of line before pulling him back again. He's definitely not a big fish, he's just putting up a really good account of himself. Off again. We got them, finally. Right, we got it in the net, and I was being a bit unkind to it. It's actually gone 14 pounds 1 ounces. Certainly doesn't look a 14 pound fish, but the scales don't lie, and it is quite a thick, deep fish, just not very long. I think I was looking at the length and thinking it wasn't the biggest, but nice fish, nice way to start. So I'll get this one back and get the rods back out. But yeah, nice common to start the trip off. Right guys, this is what I've been casting out on my right hand spot. Standard PVA bag. I'm actually using the wet touch bags just because it gives me that little bit longer to get things prepped, especially if you get sticky or sweaty hands, anything like that. The wet touch bags are so much better. They don't melt in your hands as you're preparing it. And I've always been a bit cack-handed trying to tie these bags, but I've been using the Godman Soluties, which is basically just a PVA cable tie. So you just thread it through, that melts away. Once, as I just tie that on the top, clip that off, and that melts away along with the rest of the bag. So much easier to tie bags. And that's why I've started using PVA bags more now. I was never confident with them. They were always messy, and now I'm getting them really nice tight bags, nicely streamlined, and with that cable tie makes the job so much easier. So if you haven't used them yet, have a look, because they're definitely worth a go. These are pretty cheap, and you get a nice size pack of them. I've actually put a few packs into one there, so there's more in there than you would normally get, but you can get them from Godman, and they're a brilliant product. Makes tying these PVA bags or finishing off a PVA stick, you can do that as well. So when you get to the end, rather than having to tie a knot on the end, you just tie a little or use one of the Soluties on the end instead. Makes it again a lot easier, saves you wasting PVA mesh as well. So that's what's been going out on the right hand spot. I keep getting little tugs and pulls on it. I'm assuming it's bream, but hopefully at some point the carp will get down there and it'll go screaming off. Well, we've got a fish, but the way it's coming in, it's going to be a poxy little bream. I'm getting plagued by this silly little things, and yes it is. I keep getting these tugs, pulls. That's about the 5th or 6th time it's happened now. So we'll get this one off, get a new bag out there, and if I keep getting them, I may well stick it somewhere else. Alright, there it is. Average sort of size bream in here, or certainly the ones I've been getting. I think they may be bigger, but every time I've caught a bream it's been this sort of size, absolutely covered in little nodules. I think they're like spawning, or a sign of spawning. So we'll get this one back and hopefully we can get some carp out. But yeah, he's a little spiky thing at the moment. I'm pretty sure that's a sign of spawning, so we'll get that one back and get the rod out. Right, it's just gone 3:10. I've had a bit more interest again on that right hand rod. Another sort of couple of beeps pulling up tight, then dropped back a little bit, so I just left it, made sure it was all sort of set and nothing further's happened. So whether something did pick that up and had a little bit of a move of it or what, I don't know. I'm going to leave it for a bit and then I'll probably check it shortly just to make sure that it's still doing what it should be doing. It may have been dragged away from the spot, I don't know, but it certainly pulled up tight. But again, still very warm and muggy out. Got another 4.5 hours, something like that. Again, usual bite time is 5:30 onwards for a couple of hours. Well, basically till pack up at about 7:30, so I'm not going to change too much at the moment unless there's really obvious shows somewhere, because that all seems to have died off for now as well. So we'll leave things as they are for now, but as I say, I'll probably have a bit of a refresh and a bit of change of baits on the next cast in the next half hour or so. Right, just gone 4 o'clock. Pulled up tight, took a little bit of line and is now coming straight at me. So either we've got a common or we have more likely a bream. I can see it flapping around under the surface and it is a bream, typical. Doing its best to put up a fight, but really not. Oh dear, it's come off, what a shame. Right, it's just coming up to 4:30. As you've seen from the footage, both rods are now being attacked by what I can only assume is bream. I've moved the right hand rod from the side of the island back out. Still kind of around the island, but I'm now sort of coming out to this sort of area. Left hand rod, I'm about here and about halfway across. But yeah, I'm now getting lots of little tugs, pulls, 3 or 4 beeps up, couple down, all within very quick succession. So I can only assume I've got some bream playing silly buggers again. It may be the fact that, I say, the mix I'm using is quite powder and crumb and pellet heavy. If they do keep going at me, I will be changing to an all boilie approach and just stick in 4 or 5 boilies, half a dozen, something like that, into a PVA stick and sticking that out, because I do not want to get harassed by bream for the rest of the afternoon. So we'll see if it continues. I'll give it till 5 o'clock and decide then whether we go to just fishing a few boilies around the rig, but there's plenty of activity, plenty of carp showing now again. Let's just hope they can get down on the spot and push the bream out the way. Right, I think what we have here is a bream cocking about. Nothing there when I reel in, but it is basically non-stop. Fortunately, this is what I've got a second rod ready to go for. Well, that was a better run. This one definitely isn't a bream, and is definitely kiting hard left. I just pulled that right hand one in a bit closer to me, because every time I brought it in from the other side, it was coming in with weed in it on it, so I've just pulled it very slightly closer, so it's on the edge of the weed but on a smooth patch. Haven't been harassed with bream, and this is the result. It looks like it's already swimming around up on top. Yes, it is. But we finally have a proper screaming run. Hopefully another carp to come in. It's just coming up to 25 to 6, so we've certainly hit that bite time now. Judging by the fact it's doing all its fighting out a bit more distance, I'm assuming it's a mirror. Doesn't feel like it's got huge amounts of weight to it, but we shall see. Can't be far away. The line's just down here, but I haven't really seen it yet. I've seen a couple of glimpses. There it is. No, it is a common. Often I get a common that stays out and fights like that. It's normally under your rod tip. He's intent on going this way. Come on, get a breath of air. Again, he's not the biggest, but putting up a really good fight. Got him. It looks similar sort of size to the one we had earlier, so we'll get this one out, get it weighed up, show you what we got. Right, just weighed it up and I was right, it's a similar sort of size to the previous one, slightly bigger. This one's gone 14 pounds, 14 ounces. Real lovely dark bronze common. So we'll get this couple of pictures of this one and get it back. I've already got the second or other rod back out on the spot, so I'm fishing again. We'll get a couple of pictures and return this beautiful thing back to the deep. As it's just coming up to 6:30, seeing lots of action to prove a point. Lots of action on the lake now. Fish topping out quite a lot in front of me. Very close to my spots, if not on them. So we've hopefully got feeding fish right around both of the rigs. Got about another hour or so, hopefully we can get another one, possibly another two out, but we've had those two commons for now, so it's not been too bad a session despite the sun and the blue skies that have turned up. I was kind of hoping it was going to be overcast most of today, but the sun had other ideas, so is what it is. So there are fish, if you're going to be able to see that. Yes, you can, just there. Fish just cruising along on top, and you can see he's going at fairly decent speed, so they are definitely on the move properly now. And so hopefully with those fish over our spots we can have another chance, another carp yet. What do you want, mate? Right, that's it. Finished on a little bream just as I was reeling the rods in. Literally went to pick one of them up, and I wouldn't say it went screaming off, but it certainly lifted up tight, so reeled down onto it, and lo and behold we had another bream. So few bream, couple of nice commons, and yeah, another couple to add to the collection out of this lake. So thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you again.